Oh man, it is heavy raining on and off. The police range is open for business. There's a frog on the outside wall here that is just randomly, and then on top of it, I'm a week and a half and 2 toy shows behind. Let's do this. I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. We're going to kick right into some new reveals from Toylanta, which is one hell of a show. I loved every minute. It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend it. Over at the Big Bad Workshop booth, I was able to see some upcoming figures in person like Order of the Crimson Moon and Soldiers of Fortune. Both looking awesome. Both being their own separate entities, but both looking like they can just merge right over into other Big Bad Workshop lines like the Fresh Monkeys or, of course, Operation Monster Force. With those 2 lines, there was some newness fogging up the plastic cubes. Just like Agent Carter being a heavy homage to an existing character, the new Fresh Monkey harkens back to a different movie, something less franchisey. And I'm not going to give it away. It's more fun to guess. But the katana and guitar were featured in the movie, but the character wasn't holding it when he donned this suit at the very, 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 very end. On top of that, the clothes aren't too far off in color from the grayscale prototype here. Then over in the Monster Force display, check out the new body on Chatsworth. This was originally going to be a Warbear body when they showed it back at PowerCon 2023. Woo, are we year and a half? Dang. But they decided to pivot into something more Bigfooty, something more Monster Force-y. This seems to blend in with the rest of the line a little better. Plus there's a bandana, an ammo strap, a big honking gun, donuts, come on now. The general's looking good back there, but if you pan to the other side, you find yourself looking at a familiar figure. This is the Fwoosh skeleton that came out a while back, repurposed for Monster Force. Same base figure, new add-ons to change up the look and feel. Merge it into the universe. Will it be Dracula's secret weapon? Or another Dr. Caligari experiment? Or a third faction altogether? Whew. I need to find out. Big Bad Workshop was also part of a panel where they debuted Longbox Heroes Prestige, starting with the Tick. Big surprise! I missed out on the Tick comic book and cartoon. I do remember the figures at Toys R Us, looking through them going, the Tick. That's cool. I'm hunting for other things. But then I fell directly into the clutches of the Patrick Warburton live-action series. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love this. It looks awesome, so it's coming home with Daddy. They also revealed their take on the Rocketeer, and then some bad guys for Cliff to beat up on. What's nifty about these, besides being Rocketeer characters, like I said about the other Big Bad Workshop properties, the other lines they're producing, you can have this on their own, or you can just merge them into the other realms, into Monster Force, into the Fresh Monkeys, into Order of the Crimson Moon, or just jam everything together into one big, huge, awesome-looking display. Maybe Secord jumps in to help Van Helsing, and then the Black Phantom and the Onslaught Troopers back up the Forgotten King, his personal bodyguards. Or they go out on missions with the Eraser. Who knows? They're your toys. Play with them. And you got to think that Big Bad Workshop can pull from the Longbox Heroes 4.5 series, where there's more properties at play. There's more Tick, there's more Rocketeer, but there's also Madman, there's Mr. Monster, there's Grendel, there's Savage Dragon. Oh, my brain's on fire just thinking of the possibilities. Something I completely missed last week was the new Boss Fight Studio Legends of Lucha Libre premium offerings. Well, I say completely missed, I had them on the list. I was going to talk about them, but I guess in my hurry to get to Toylanta to get everything posted and scheduled, zoop, completely missed it on the list. So I was right. In fact, if you saw the last rewind when it posted, there was still Lucha Libre in the title. But that's what swing-arounds are for. That makes it sound weird, doesn't it? We're swinging back around because Roosh, Dralistico, and Dragon Lee all look awesome. Granted, I only know them from AEW and WWE, but that's okay. Hey, that's general knowledge. It's just different looks for characters I've already seen on TV. Well, I say that. Roosh I recognized right off the bat. Dralistico, I had to look at the title, but that mask is awesome with the mouth coming up. And then Dragon Lee and the blues just pop. I think. All in all, good to see the Lucha Libre legends continue because it's a good line. They're good figures. Another news item from last week, to no one's surprise, Bandai announced the S.H. Figuarts My Hero Academia Uraraka. I mean, a company does Deku, they do Bakugo, they maybe do Shigaraki or Todoroki, but then Uravity is somewhere in those initial offerings. She's one of the mains. Hell, in the picture that I keep showing for Bandai's Season 7 picks, she's right there, along with Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. Now remember, I'm still a couple of seasons behind. So looking at that picture where she's wearing the shirt and no gauntlets, I don't know if that's her look from the season or if this is just a relaxed look, because the figure does have gauntlets, no shirt. Still looks like Uraraka though. So I'm guessing there's an extra head with the headgear and stuff. It's Bandai. They're throwing in. Or they're going to do an accessory pack down the road with even more stuff. Maybe some power effects. Maybe some floating things. Either way, Bandai is adding to your display if you're in the market for S.H. Figuarts My Hero Academia. If you're looking for other companies, there's plenty. Seems like every company, except for Hasbro, is doing My Hero Academia or has done My Hero Academia. Here's a couple of prototype reveals for Wave 2 of LooseCollector's Burning Hammer series. The concept is familiar. Unique fighters with unique fighting skills fight each other. Whoosh. For Wave 1, there's Wei Li with Wing Chun and Montez Lee with Jeet Kune Do. Now Wave 2 introduces Hannah using Krav Maga and Lei Fang wielding Cheng Quan. Yes, I was reading all that while you were looking at the pretty pictures. What'd you expect? I can barely speak English. Huh, that looks familiar. Like it's someone we've seen before. Nah. I do wonder what Hannah would look like with some gun holsters on her hips though. Looking forward to seeing some paint slapped on both these. Kind of like LooseCollector's other tease this week with the paint test on the Crypt Yeti. We saw the preliminary Bigfoot sculpt with its big feet and big old body, and then we saw the color test for it in the oranges looking all fierce. The Yeti is going to look just as fierce, if not more so because of those horns on the head. Can you imagine these two going at it and then the Yeti's just like... I also like the blue tint to the pelt, fading from darker to lighter while keeping the snow feel of it all. I was afraid it was just going to be bam, white, but this thought just shot in my head. Posing these two up in fight scenes, with the size of them, I'm getting plum tuckered just thinking of it. Of course, I don't think they'll weigh in at 35 some odd pounds like a certain big ass dragon we've been talking about. While we're speaking on mythological creatures, there's some updates for the 4 Horsemen Mythic Legion's Rise of Baethir campaign. First, most of the previously announced goals have been met. Most of them. Baethir itself is of course funded, along with the wings and fire sets and all of their stretch goals. The Ashen Zombie and Fiery Knight both get all of their gear. Same goes for Sir Benegar. He's now coming with all the bells and whistles. The only level not met as I'm recording this is the Ashen Skeleton and its stretch goals, which is part of the Dragon tier itself. That needs to hit 3,000 and 3,500 to be included. But wait, does another figure harken on the horizon at the 4,000 tier? I don't remember the exact timeline because I was traveling, but at Toylanta, the big talk was the 4,000 units sold goal. And there was a lot of speculation. So when the Fury of Baethir was revealed this week, I kind of went, only because we had all talked it up. Just, what could it be now? But then I quickly warmed up to it as more pictures were shown because it wasn't mustard, it's gold, it's shiny, it's armory. And it goes right along with Sir Benegar. And if you had asked me this time last year if I could remember all these Mythic Legions names right off the bat, I would have went, you're a crazy person. Get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. Now they're calling this an army builder. I do not subscribe to that idea because it's the last tier on a $550,000 dragon. I threw a house payment at this to get the dragon and the fire set. So the last tier being an army builder, nah. I'm thinking of this as Benegar's lieutenant. It can be, if it funds, he can stand slightly behind, but still looking badass. Because he's got that knight helmet, and then he's got those face plates, all immortal looking. There's options, which does work into the troop builder aspect, but I ain't buying 10 dragons to get a bunch of Furies. But time's running out. The campaign ends Sunday, close to midnight, somewhere, late night. As this posts on YouTube, it's like a day and a half or less. It's hard to keep up with, but last I looked, it was still over 1,000 units needed to get to the Fury of Baethir. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be interesting though. We'll see. I think at one point I did know that WonderCon was going on at the same time as Toylanta. Then I forgot. Then I remembered when I was trying to get everything together. Then I forgot when I was traveling. So, of course, I'm standing, looking at new toys in Georgia, scrolling pictures of new toys coming out of California. Before getting into it though, super extra huge thanks to the Figure Report for letting me use his pictures in B-roll, because otherwise we'd just be standing here looking at my background going, hope you saw it on your socials. I did. It was cool. If you haven't yet, go check out his new podcast, Figures Not Included. The link is in the description, or over there if YouTube does what I tell it to. Hopefully it does. Let's start with Mondo. Oh, Mondo. A year or so back, I was completely content with staring from afar at your beautiful 1/6 scale offerings. But now you're invading my 1/12 scale world with real Ghostbusters and Masters of the Universe. We knew Winston was coming, but it's always better to see some actual prototype action. This team is shaping up wonderfully. And while I'm not familiar with each and every ghost from the cartoon, I absolutely love this Rosebud ghost. I've been skipping the Mondo Deluxe editions due to money and space, but every time I look at the big ghost that comes with the Ghostbusters, I get a creepy feeling back here somewhere. Like, I don't remember a lot of the cartoon, but I see Boogeyman and Sandman, and it's like, ooh. Was I traumatized and I forgot? What happened? But then there's 2000X He-Man, and I'm going to start this by saying I'm fairly content with my Masters of the Universe collection at this point. I've been dipping my toe into the various Mattel lines since Classics, but that's my line, and I have most of what I want. I'm still getting a lot of cartoon collection because of my intense love of Filmation, but otherwise, I'm good. Saying that, do I need some 2000X representation in my display, in my collection? Maybe, maybe not. I didn't watch a lot of 2000X. Every time I tried to, it was the same episode. I don't know how I did it, but it was always Stratos, and I'd go, they doing Sean Connery? But I've always just kind of liked the look, the updates, the style of the series. The Figures Not Included podcast had a walkthrough with Hector, and while no price was specified, he did say that it's comparable to Mezco and Storm Collectibles. So my Price is Right guess is gonna be $79.99, Bob. At one point, I believe they said it would be cheaper than real Ghostbusters, and those start at $101. $80 feels cheaper. I'm fighting the urge to go $89.99, but that's just $10. That doesn't feel cheaper, but who knows? I'm terrible at price things. They also mentioned Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, and Clawful being in the pipeline. Skeletor makes total sense. You have your yin, you need your yang. Man-at-Arms too. I always want to flank He-Man with Duncan. That's just my brain set. But then Clawful seems way out of left field. Yes, he goes with Skeletor, but he's not one of the secondaries, you know? He's not A-list or even B-list. Then I sat down and thought about it and realized, oh, there's that 2000X stylization that would be represented perfectly with Clawful. Those changes. Beastman, yes, he did look different from Filmation, but Clawful. Plus, and I wasn't collecting at the time, did Clawful get a figure or was that a staction? Where's Pixel Dan when I need him? So yeah, while I would have picked Beastman because second in commands, I gotta think he's a lock for down the road. Clawful also kind of shows that they're in for the long haul. It's Clawful. If they're gonna do Clawful, they're gonna make the rest, right? They have to, depending on sales and price. Jada Toys was also set up at WonderCon with all kinds of goodies on display. Here comes the rain again, falling on my... None as important as carded Scooby-Doo Wave 1, though. It's happening, and they're on their way. It's ever closer. I got a space ready to go. I need them now. Well, okay, I may be really excited for Scooby-Doo, but I also really need Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. Don't forget Tony the Tiger went up for pre-order recently. That cereal shelf continues to grow. What else could we get? What else? Tony the Tiger, Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble. What else? What's beyond that? Tell me more. Tell me more. There was, of course, Street Fighter. They've made a mad dash, and I think they've already shown the complete roster. So now they're just working their way through the prototypes. The newest Mega Man wave was also carded with Unmasked Mega Man and Mean Green Diver and Stump Guy. I'm really excited about Stump Guy. He may be my favorite in the Mega Man series. Somewhere Vives' head is exploding. I'm sorry, bud. For some new hotness, though, there's Frosty the Snowman. I don't think anybody's ever going to get any closer to this character in action figure form. This is perfection. This is walking right out of my TV when I was a kid. I'm standing here getting the holiday flutters just thinking about it because, remember, there's nothing here. I can look over there and say it gives me the flutters, but I got it all up here. It's back here. Just... I do believe this is supposed to be out in time for the holidays, and then they'll go from there, like an offering every holiday season, or however the schedule falls. We'll see. Yes. I look at this picture and think, Frosty's looking into my soul while making fun of my crotchal region. Stop it, Frosty. McFarlane took to the stage at WonderCon and just laid it out. It was just like, hey, you want to see some reveals? A lot of toy companies with this many reveals would have been spanning a year or so, or the rest of 2025. To McFarlane Toys, this is summer. Hey, this is what we got happening for the next couple of months. See you at San Diego. We'll start with the renders for the IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I want to say that while these look pretty good, they don't look as good as what I saw in the booth at Toy Fair. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but when I saw them physically in person and was not allowed to take pictures before you ask, I thought, man, those look nice and grungy. Nice and turtly, like they've been in the sewers. Not overdone, like throwing a black wash at a figure and going, that's too much, oh well, get them out the door. It was nicely done. And this doesn't seem to convey that. They seem clean here. They also showed off renders for Mortal Kombat Classics, but Todd already sneaky peeked in the booth at Toy Fair, the actual prototypes that they had on display. But y'all know where this is heading. We're about to deep dive into DC Multiverse land, and you'd almost think that there was a deadline on the DC license, and they're just, here you go, here's all of it. Bear with me though, I can't remember what all has already been shown and what's brand new reveals. We're just gonna go over some pictures and talk about them real quick. The Green Lantern Jade is looking awesome. The red platinum sticker is kind of scary, although if I'm honest, I've seen more platinum editions than regulars lately. I don't know what it is, and they're always in electronics sections. I'm not too worried about it, but unique chase figure. Batman 1 million, seen it? Already made the Batman 1 million or 1 million Batmans. Am I right? Am I right? It was hilarious. You should have been there. Classic Bizarro is delicious. I remember Cowboy Batman from the last live stream. Still need it as a cowboy and Batman. Cowboy Batman. Yeehaw. Why do I always feel like Eradicator needs a tie? Oh, you know what I just realized? The black part of the costume is open like a jacket. Or when Clark is pulling and revealing the S shield when he's... never thought about that before. Hal Jordan armor suit is another figure proving that my dislike of cell shading is a case-by-case basis. You do it on an X-Men character that I want? Take that away. That's disgusting. But you put it on a shadowy type character or Hal Jordan where he's mostly covered in lime and it helps differentiate or pop the muscles and just add to the figure overall. Okay, give me. It's good. I never said I was rational when it comes to the plastic crack. We've seen everything on this slide, but can I say, come to Robo, our man. Come to Robo. This slide though, hot dang. New 52 Superman is neat, but I'm not concerned with it, red platinum or not. Mr. Miracle, it's beautiful. So is Sandman. Todd is mad dashing the JSA, and I do not mind whatsoever. Night Quest Azrael is Neato Burrito, but I don't feel a mighty need. I feel like we've gotten this character a few times. Cyborg Superman is weird. Okay, not the figure itself. It looks amazing. It'll fit right in with the rest. What's weird is the red platinum sticker. Why? I know that is for unique chase characters, but we just looked at Eradicator. That ain't a red platinum. We're about to see something else that goes with this set, not a red platinum. Why make Cyborg Superman? Is it because he looks, unique chase character on the same? No, why? Again, I don't think it's a big deal because of platinums, just that the choice to make it a platinum with what is arguably the best look from the series. This slide has the Hawk Girl we've seen before, and then variants of existing figures of Guy and Mr. Terrific. Much more appropriate feeling behind the red platinum sticker. But then there's Strange Lives of Superman, and this jumps out at me. Well, it's got some oddball heads. But remember last week when I said I can't stop saying Cowardly Lion Batman instead of Cowardly Lot Batman? Now I'm picturing it. Oh, that looks awesome. And then I saw this and thought, wait, yeah, I know it's Superman instead of Batman, but it's still a lion head like I was picturing on Batman last week. It was just kind of jarring. I can't help saying Batman $1 million instead of Batman 1 million. Now we wait. This is the one that looks at my wallet and goes, "You're mine, bitch." Well, okay, I don't know Dark Stars, but it's an interesting looking figure. And after I stared at it for a minute, I may have a custom idea for it. I hate it when that happens, but I love it. Hate love. Again, I ain't rational when it comes to toys. The rest are bought though, no questions asked. Such a silly, fun assortment. Well, okay, Deathstroke isn't awesomely goofy, unless you consider a world-class assassin dressed in skin-tight orange and blue with pirate boots. Awesomely goofy. Metron? Gimme. Beast Boy? Get over here. Dark Archer? Shoot yourself right in my display. Mirror Master? Yes, please. But then there's Kite Man. Mother flippin' Kite Man. Whoever thought, in this day and age, in the year of our Lord 2025, that I would be putting a Kite Man in my display? Todd, let me talk to you, son. This may be your crowning achievement. Kite, period, man, period. Kite Man. But then they had to go and top themselves with the Batman Returns assortment. Well, okay, don't forget Kite Man. That's a plateau. And this is just sidestepping over into other fantasticness. These are just amazing all the way across. They ain't topping that. Oh, son of a bitch. Mr. Bones is cool. Superboy is cooler. Wonder Woman is the coolest. All right, we're done. Move on to, another slide of funky spectacularity. Again, put all of these in my veins. They said they were negotiating to extend the DC license somehow, but it's almost like, if that doesn't happen, let's get out as much as possible, and I'm loving it. Outside of WonderCon, they formally announced and revealed the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Target exclusive Dark Knight Rises Batman and Batpod. That's nifty. Finally, to toss some word salad and to show something that actually went up for pre-order out of all the craziness of this weekend, here is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Dark Knights Metal Grim Knight Batman Black and White Accent Edition. Oh, with some blue, which I guess is the accent edition. They don't always list that accent in the title, but at this point they might as well. Some days the whole world is against you when all you want to do is talk about toys. But yeah, it's Grim Knight in blue and grays and bright white. Man, I sure hope this comes with guns, unlike the last few releases of the DC Multiverse Grim Knight. Pull your fingers away from the typewriter. It's a running gag. It's a joke. Pull the plastic pin out. Relax. it's toys. Moving over to Hasbro, because I want to, there were some out-of-the-blue digital reveals for G.I. Joe Classified series. We had gotten the names, now we're getting a digital look at some upcoming figures like Major Blood. I do believe that this is the same figure we already have, just with some updated deco hits, which is okay. I think the first one was a Target exclusive, but it was at that time when it was getting easier to snag Target exclusives. But at the same time, it's an older figure. New collectors, Major Blood. Maybe this is warming us up for a retro release? Yeah, once again, pull your fingers back. You know I don't follow leaks. Let me have my Christmas morning surprises. Monkey Wrench is looking sweet, adding to the ever-growing Dreadnoks display. The 3D glasses gas mask with attached hair kind of threw me off, but it's cool. Again, options. It's G.I. Joe. I love when they do stuff like that. As good as that is, though, I found myself drifting back to Combat Armor Cobra Commander over and over. Not because I'm attached to this look. In fact, I couldn't tell you where it's from, but I recognize it. And it's a cool figure with the armor, with the silvers and such. Shut up, frog! Oh, you son of a... I asked my best good friend Dis Thunder why he comes with an iguana, and all he said was, that's Serpentor. And I'm good with that knowledge. That's all I need to know. But let's cap this rewind with the Hasbro Marvel Legends fan stream. I rambled about the possibility of Thunderbolts and potential reuse a while back, and I was mostly completely wrong. Big surprise. But it looks like Yelena is an all-new sculpt. Not the most heroic of superhero costumes, but then again, Thunderbolts isn't going to be the most heroic of superhero movies. So I think this fits the vibe. Plus, custom potential. There's also a lot of new to Red Guardian, where I said, well, all they need is some shoulder pads and this and that. Maybe the boots are reuse, and maybe the legs from the thigh swivel down, but the texture has been removed. So I consider that new. The base sculpt may not be new, but the overall look is. And then on top of that, everything else, I don't think that's from previous figures. And you guys stop tagging me every time there is a beautiful bald bearded head shown. Oh, it makes me, I love it. I really do. John Walker is exactly what I was hoping for. There is a bit of resculpting to the head to remove the star, and then the paints, the colors, are what they should have been the first time around. In fact, this is what was featured on the back of the previous figure's packaging. A proper US agent for my MCU shelf. Then came Sentry. This is kind of a spoiler, right? Which is weird coming from Hasbro. It's usually, we see, well, sometimes it's well past the movie reveals everything, but I believe this is the first time we're seeing Bob in the uniform or his costume. Yeah, it's a bit gaudy, it's very busy, but welcome to the MCU. How many costumes have we seen with extra texture and lines and grooves and straps? If you do a quick glance, like, whoa, was that Sentry? It was. Oh man, still looks like Sentry, but okay. Plus, I'm sure this is pre-production or early concept in full lighting, where in the movie it's gonna be shadowy and then torn up, bloody, dusty, dirty within 5 minutes. And then he gets a new costume for a different figure down the road. If this had been Bob in scrubs like we've seen in the trailers, it would have been the same reaction but backwards. Ah, why didn't we get... I'd rather get this. These are 2-packs. Yelena comes with Red Guardian, John comes with Bob, and they go for pre-order in the next few weeks, month or so, something like that. Next was Spider-Man 3 symbiote suit, and I learned a few things during this segment. One, I shouldn't have bought an extra Toby to do a custom of this costume. Or I should have at least opened it up and started it long before this. 2, I still would have bought this because I didn't know that the Spider logo changed with the color scheme. And this looks more sinister, more emo. 3, I'll probably display this with the Bully Maguire head and that awesome kind of symbiote thing. It's too good to not display. Because 4, why in the hell did nobody tell me that there was such a drastic change to the No Way Home mask compared to the original Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man movies mask? I was happily ignorant to that fact until this go around. No, I'd read comments like that in the review for the No Way Home Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figure. But I didn't go look because I was buying a No Way Home Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But now this is based specifically on Spider-Man 3, where the lenses are more angled up. What hurts is that they resculpted the torso to match with the spider logo. They gave us a new unmasked head for that emo look, or at least a new hairpiece. Why couldn't there be a new masked head to display those changes too? Especially with the price tag being $29.99, despite being a standard release. But then I noticed something in the email Hasbro sent after the live stream, and that pertains to the Gamerverse Velocity suit Peter Parker. I didn't catch that during the stream. In fact, I'm pretty sure they said Spider-Man, but in the press release, all the info, they specifically call him Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. It's Walmart exclusive, but it's a repaint of the Velocity suit we already have, so have had it, Big Blue, but it is priced at $24.99. With the maximum Spider-Man price that everyone is talking about, and then the Spider-Man 3 symbiote suit being a higher price, is there a Spider-Man tax going on? We see it with Boba Fett in the Star Wars Black series. I wouldn't surprise me that the same's happening with Spider-Man, or at least Spider-Man's with Spider-Man in the title. Yes, I know Spider-Man is plastered right across the front of the package, but it's not named in the press release, in the actual info. Or maybe it's a coincidence. Who knows? I could be reading into things. Moving from Big Blue to Rowdy Red, Target is having another round of retro card exclusives, starting with Weapon X Wolverine. Seems they've been on a tear lately, updating some of their older figures, which some people think, they're just taking up spots that could be unique characters, but this is Target exclusive. Do you want unique characters locked behind that barrier? Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm still trying to snag a Fatigue's Professor X. I don't want, coming to Target soon, Rachel Summers, who I'm just now realizing is dressed all in red. Don't put that evil on me. This is cool, but some people don't need it. They have the last release. Either or. Same goes for Mystique. Yes, the temptation of double elbows is moderate, and then there's the line in the sand pinless joints that some people can't do without, but otherwise it's pretty much what I have on the shelf already. But again, I know that the first release was exclusive, was at Walgreens, so not everyone has it. Plus there's new collectors, it's a Target exclusive. Have at it. I'm all over Madam Mask and Crossbones though. You'll hear some whine and cry about it, but the original Madam Mask was outdated before it even released. Do you remember that it has swivel ankles and terrible torso, and those hips, weren't they pinned up? Along with the choice of classic and modern heads, this is a major upgrade. Crossbones has had it better on the figure front, but this is still better than a lot of previous versions. Dan circled back around after the panel to announce that Madam Mask's torso will be more white than black. In the panel, the lower half was the darker color. Now it's going to be whiter, which I like because it harkens back to the classic look more. Yeah, I know it's still a modern uniform, but it's Madam Mask. It looks good. But then in that same picture, Crossbones' shirt, pants, and gloves are more gray than the slightly light blue it was during the first reveal. I don't really know which one I like better. I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know which one's more accurate. So whatever comes with the better Madam Mask, that'll be my Crossbones in my display. I do wonder if the hair pieces are swappable between the heads though. I would like the more neutral hair on the classic head. Oh, collectors. Never happy, are we? Next up, the repaint we all knew was coming, and not because of the dumbbell tease. That She-Hulk is all new sculpt. It only makes sense to reuse it for more She-Hulks. And when I think more She-Hulks, I think of Fantastic Four. It was an easy enough custom, it's an easy enough change to officially release. I like the ponytail and the dumbbells, but like I said, I already did a custom that fits in. Oh no, it does have a raised 4 on the chest, and the colors are a bit darker, aren't they? This will match the Fantastic Four I have in the display. So we'll see, because it shouldn't be too hard to get. It's fan channel and pulse. Just throw in a pre-order, wait. I'm a little less indecisive with Maximum Hulk though. Oh, what a roller coaster the Maximum topic has been so far. With Spider-Man, it was a new sculpt, new deco, new accessories, high $50 price tag. With Hulk, it's a lot of reuse, an experimental upper torso, new head sculpts that skew modern for a supposed $60 sticker. There's definitely some behind the scenes budget stuff going on. Well, okay, Hulk does have new feet with toe joints, but then there's those dreaded pins in the legs and single elbows with the pointy piece sticking out when you bend them. But then I am interested in the rubber torso overlay. They showed the range of the butterflies under there, and I do like how it hides that. It kind of squishes very skin-like, very muscle-like with the movement. But I also have to wonder, will it break down? Will it get sticky? Will it start melting eventually? I mean, I know all this stuff is eventually going to break down, but I hope it's after I shuffle off this mortal coil. That's my kid's problem. The missile is neat. I do like it better than bent pipe. But then the heads do absolutely nothing for me. If, and that is a very, very big if with all the rising prices, if I was to get this to test out the upper torso, I would display it with the McGinnis screaming head in the thunderclap pose, because I feel like this Hulk was made specifically for that. But that is a big if, and I'm not talking about the usual, oh, man, I don't think I'll get this, and then I end up with it. No, I'm seriously saying it's a huge if. Because we were talking in the Patreon chat about what we wanted from Hulk figures, and I want very classic. Light green, purple pants, and this isn't quite it. But then I started looking around, and I have a darker Hulk in my Avengers. I have the light green first appearance Wolverine 2-pack Hulk floating around here for comparisons and just doing random things. And then in the main display, I have the S.H. Figuarts with a custom casting cave head that looks very classic that I love. As I was typing, I looked over and I thought, well, do I even need a new Hulk? Because I'm happy with that one. And that one, and that one. And I know that's the case a lot of times. I keep buying Spider-Mans and Wolverines and Cyclopses, but with Hulk, I'm good. But if you're happy to get this, then go for it. It's your money. Spend it. As long as you're being responsible. You know, there's still a roof. There's still food. Your family's taken care of. Whatnot. Then go for it. It's fine. It's just another Hulk in a long line of Hulks. It's another Spider-Man in a long line of Spider-Mans. The Maximum title is just that. It's a title for a new series. Just like people used to argue 20 years ago about Marvel Legends not always being Legends. Oh, X-23 making your way into the Marvel Legends line. How dare you? So have your opinions. That is perfectly fine. Complaints are fine. Nitpicks are fine. But so are praises and contentment. If you don't want it, don't buy it. If you want it, buy it. It's not that hard. I'll still be over here enjoying myself like I always do. I know some of you can't stand that, but that's your problem, not mine. And that's all I got for this week. I think it was, oh man, I started listing things and I'm sure I've missed them. In fact, as I was walking out here, I think I did see the announcement or the pre-orders for the Bandai S.H. Figuarts Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi go up. We'll come back around. Oh, and now that I say that out loud, was it a leak or did they officially announce the Star Wars Celebration exclusives in some form or fashion? I don't know. Again, if I get to talk about Star Wars next week, I'm happy. But thinking about all the stuff I just talked about, wasn't Toy Fair just a couple of weeks ago? And these companies still going full bore, just... Are they... yeah. Man, and I know prices are going up and up. We gonna be doing this in a year? I don't know. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride while the ride's still going. I already have videos for next week that I pushed because of the Marvel Legends review this week. So I'm gonna be doing a few live streams. Wednesday, I'm gonna be on Between Two Sentinels. Thursday, I'll be on Legion's Ladies. And then it looks like on Friday, I'll be over on Unparalleled Universe, mixing it up with Wade. We have beef, or we can have beef. We can act like we have beef. Last but certainly not least, special thanks to the Nobots, the Patreon, who always, man, sometimes I jump into the chat and it's just like old times because I haven't chatted in a super long time. It's very nostalgic. But that also brings up channel memberships for YouTube. I am opening those up shortly after this goes live. YouTube has been pushing it. I'm gonna see what happens, go from there. It's more convenient for some people. They've been asking, they don't wanna go to Patreon. So I'm gonna do that. But don't feel like you need to, because there's nothing video-wise that's going to be exclusive to there. It's going to be kind of like the Patreon, where you get to see the video the day before. Maybe not a full 24 hours, but it is the day before. And then I do post pictures of upcoming, mostly play days. If I'm working on a custom, I like to take a picture, post it, kind of get some feedback, see where I'm at. Because I work on something too long, I start to think, well, I'm done, haha, and then I'm not done. I'm looking at you, orphan maker, who needs some light blue slapped on you. So yeah, don't feel obligated. If you wanna, it's there. If you don't, it'll be business as usual. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, sometimes in between when there's an embargo in art. Everything going on in the world, it's getting a little harder to have fun with this because, like I said, price is going up and availability and such, but we still got to try our damnedest to have a little glimmer of fun in a dark, dank world. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to keep talking about toys until either there's no toys to talk about or I don't have the ability to talk anymore. Until then, though, bye.